Party Monday. G'day, Jacani, Ugly, Oogly, Topolus, Benton, Rob, Raisinese, and Lord Virus of Nurgle. Hello. Hello indeed. Boo. Sharif don't like it. Rock the Casbah, rock the Casbah. I'm in a good mood today. My project is looking pretty cool. I've got some stuff to show. Sharif don't like it. Rock the Casbah, rock the Casbah. By order of the prophet. Till the playboy sound. Now. That's also not even as progressed as it is now. I've added little plants and stuff now. It's starting to look fucking cool. I'll tell you what, I'm excited. Anyway, I'm going to do a social media post today. Well, at least on my Twitter. I've got more than that done. I might even show you later on, if I can be bothered. And then, obviously, the Lady of the Lake herself. Ooh, hello, friends. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. So we're making good headway on this project at this point in time. Let's hope that the energy continues. Streaming now on Twitch. I don't know, what's my fucking Twitch thing? Twitch.tv/big Deno. Done. But today we're going to start painting this guy, and it's going to be exciting. I am in fact excited about it. There is a part of me that thinks I shouldn't have glued this sword down. I was initially planning on not gluing it down, but I think it's the right choice to glue it down. So the colour palette will be cold, nighttime gold. Hello, Danzeron. Danzeron. So let's see if we can pull that off, shall we? And I feel like that is the first thing to start. So we shall begin. And I'm going to do something different today. Lord Virus of Nurgle, this diorama that I'm working on, that I'll put on screen for you now whilst I'm doing a lot of nothing. These are all from a manufacturer called Big Child Creatives. And they were from a recent Kickstarter called Echoes of Camelot. And good for you, Joel Paul. Good for you. And they will be coming to normal release, although at this juncture in time they are not available as a normal release. Yes. Marvel's brown. So there's a lot of models in that range. Echoes of Camelot on Kickstarter. If you want to look it up. Quite magnificent. Quite magnificent indeed. Hello, Frog Jim. This is Uther Pendragon himself. Depending on which mythological retelling story you are involved in, this guy was potentially a bit of a dickhead. Slept with grain by disguising himself as Igraine's husband. I think his name was Bors. Hey, Shadow Uther. Ah, cool, Raisinese. I'm quite partial to a liking spree on my Insta as well. Might go give myself some likes. Go me. Nice. Oh, what a beautiful party Monday. I'm very excited about Party Monday. No, 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 no. That guy is not having a Party Monday. It would be my pleasure, mate. It would absolutely be my pleasure and privilege to give you some feedback. Ah, Freezy, get amongst it, mate. Absolutely get amongst it. Yeah, I'm starting to get absolutely jazzed for Frosthaven, actually. Been reading up on the old Kickstarter updates and fuck, it sounds good. Fuck, it sounds good. Anyway, it's probably later on in the year, you know. Alright, we're starting with a cold blue-brown base because we want it to be cold looking in the end product. We're going to mix some gold colour into that. And I'm telling you this because I had a dude on my YouTube say, hey bro, can you please try and remember to tell me about your colours and why you're doing it? And I said, I will try. So the reason I am choosing to use blue and brown is obviously we want it to feel nighttime, so gold at nighttime. So we want to have moonlight. also going to have some underlighting as well. Which is going to be like a blue. So as always, I start by sketching out some rough placements of lights. Just a broad concept about what I want the light source situation to look like. Thank you, Oh Guffy Guffy Zero. The light source in this scene is the moon, so it's going to be relatively straight above. Jack Frog Jim, party Monday, mate. Just get amongst it, pal. I believe in you, Oh Guffy Guffy. You can do it. So we're going to skew a little bit more towards blue, mixed in with this gold colour. Now, can anyone tell me, using very basic colour theory, what colour we should get when we mix yellow gold with blue nighttime? It's not a trick question. If you answered green, you were correct. So we will see some green tint in this gold. And that is working as intended. Oh Guffy Guffy, this is not a Warhammer character, mate. This is a model from a slightly larger scale manufacturer by the name of Big Child Creatives, and it is a knight of the Round Table, sort of. What am I linking? What am I linking you, buddy? Oh, thanks, Chuhan. Sure, if you practice, you will get there. The mini websites for this manufacturer. I can do that indeed. I'll ask one of the great gentlemen, ladies, or other in the chat to assist you right now. And I'm sure one of them will be happy to send you a link to Big Child Creative's website. Rumble, it is indeed Party Monday, mate, as always. I'm probably not going to pick up any Warhammer models, mate, at this juncture. See what takes my fancy after I finish this project. Yeah, Guffy, I don't print these particular models. These ones are ones I've purchased. I have some printed models in my pile behind me that has models to paint. I spoke to him on stream yesterday. That was very funny. Celery. I did indeed have a good Monday, mate, but I'm very excited to be here with you fine friends painting some toy soldiers. I was looking forward to it all day, actually. That is the plan, Chuhan. Yes, cold gold. See if we can pull that off. It's supposed to be nighttime gold. Never tried it before. Now's as good a time as any, though. Haha, rectum. Love it. Do you know what that was, mate? That was what we call laziness. I was very, very much not interested in recording or stopping and losing my flow. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to pick up this phone call, tell Gab to fuck off. I wasn't worried about it at this stage. I'm worried about where I'm at when I start to get to the stuff that I'm potentially not as excited about painting. I'm actually not really excited to paint the crypt scene. I think that's out of my wheelhouse. That's actually the only thing I'm not really looking forward to painting. The rest of the models, the rest of the scenes, I think are going to be cool. I've got a snow scene on top of the mountain with Lancelot and Guinevere, which would be really cool. And I already did snow recently, so I feel comfortable with that. I like the models in the crypt scene. I'm just not sold on the crypt itself at the moment. We'll see how it comes out. So, yeah, I think once we start getting into some stuff that I'm not excited about painting, that's when we'll start to assess the energy levels of the project. At the moment, when I'm bored with one thing, I can just be like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to go start doing this thing on the base. Or I'm going to start gut filling this, or building a tree, or etc, etc. G'day, Wampa. Ah, Nick Jags, Party Monday, cheers. Yep, Mordred, Percival, and probably two of my favourite models in the range. Chuhan, no, don't stream every day, mate. At the moment, I stream on Monday nights, Wednesday nights, Sunday mornings, my time. So I don't know what time that is for you. This is Monday night for me right now. So this is one of my streams. I usually do one on a Saturday night if I'm free, which I have been recently. Can you explain your question a bit further, Danzeron? Do you mean when I clean the airbrush, are there still colours coming out of the airbrush that are from the previous clean? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean next time I do the airbrushing, you want me to explain what colours I'm using to clean up my sketchiness? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean. The term cleaning confused me. Hello, Plank. Oh, Planky boy. Oh, Planky boy. Oh, Planky boy. Oh, Planky boy. Very good. I will attempt to do so. No, your English is excellent, mate. It was my bad. Just the word cleaning sent me on the wrong tangent. And you're actually, it's the right term. You just meant cleaning up the shitty paintwork that I'm doing. G'day, Gregory. Rapid transit. Cheers. So just to give some context, friends, this colour palette is trying to look like this. Nighttime rocks. And also my Lady of the Lake, who is here. Nighttime, cold. Oh, beautiful, mate. I haven't been to Thailand. My mum and dad have. They love it there. I've been to Bali and Kuala Lumpur, but never Thailand. this is Uther Pendragon. Do you mean have I spent more time on the project or have I spent more money? I counted up how much money I spent the other day. Fuck me. I did not realise I was at that much. I mean, I had an inkling, but... Sylvani Blade, this is from Big Child Creative's Echoes of Camelot range. It is the Uther Pendragon sculpt. It's not a 3D print, unfortunately. And I did indeed see the trailer for the Green Knight Celery. I wasn't up to speed on it like everyone else was. And now that I am, fantastic, glorious, get amongst it. Currently, it is at 2,150 Australian dollars. So it's about 70 US dollars that I've spent. But keep in mind, the models themselves were like 700 for the whole range. The table was 450. So there's like a large chunk of stuff, and then I spent a bit on the resin, 3D printing stuff. Paid my mate for it. Yeah. No, the theory is, mate, is that he's standing above a lake. Danzron, did you post the link already, mate? Did I miss that? I said I was happy for the feedback. Danzaron. What are you talking about? Your Cthulhu HP Lovecraft model. It's quite cool. Thank you, Groot 3D. Outstanding. Well, really cool, mate. Yeah, skin tone's nice. Got some nice values in there. good viewing angle straight on. Like the suit sort of, got contrast without being bright, which is a tricky thing to do. If I could, the book's great. The weakest part for me is the green on the tentacles, particularly from this side angle. You can see that there's not as much texture on them as there is on sort of other elements. You could have maybe just done some texturing, like lines following the shape of the octopus arms. Very minor critique. I would have possibly liked to see a creepy glow of some description, not necessarily on the whole thing, but maybe just a little angled area of creepiness. Yeah, it's awesome, mate. Very good indeed. So I've gone into quite light colours now. I've mixed yellow and pastel blue for this highlight. And remember, we are going to do airbrushing after this, because we are lunatics. But again, we're not thinking about much other than the light source and how we want the metal to react to the light source. Now, this approach is quite freeform, so you can change things up throughout the process because it's very quick. But getting these light placements right now is almost the most important element of the gold. Yeah, I can understand. I think they look fine. When I looked at the rest of the model, I was like, wow, this is really awesome. But then the tentacles jumped out as like, yeah, not as awesome. Chuhan, it is all acrylics, mate. I don't use any oils. I have bought some oils, but I haven't got around to using them at this stage. Thank you, Opts. Hello, mate. How are you? Chuhan, this is all the most important part of the process is just establishing the values and the placement of the values. You don't need to be precise at this stage, and you'll see why, because when I do the airbrushing stage coming up very soon, we get to create a little bit of harmonizing of the palette of the model just by the airbrush. So I have left spots of the base colour on this one, Rectum. I've left the brown and the blue colours sort of showing through. And it's important for my approach, my technique, that you have a very large contrast before airbrushing between light and dark, because the airbrushing will kill a lot of that contrasting. That's a good question, Oogly. Reference material is what I would suggest. If you want to try it, you're not really sure of how to approach something, go and look at pictures of it. I mean, ultimately, non-metallic metal is actually one of the easiest things to paint. That's probably not true. It's one of the easiest things to replicate from looking at a photo, because ultimately it's very high value, like a lot of high contrasts. So that's actually one of the easiest things to do. You don't have to worry about your saturated colours, because generally you just want to get the value. That's actually easier to do than you might think. But the key element is understanding where your lights go. So if you don't get that bit, yeah, it's going to be a fucking disaster. It's never going to look like metal. This is not Chimera Ice Yellow. I have used, what have I used? I've used Golden Brown from that Chimera set from Danilo Cartacci, Signal Blue Model Air, and Arbuckle's Brown for the base coats, and then I've highlighted using the AK 3rd Gen Ice Yellow and the AK 3rd Gen Pastel Blue. Yeah, you got to stop using scale colours for skin. In general, I think scale colours are too matte for you to see what you want to see. Thanks, Gregory. Sure you didn't want to just pile on again, mate? Like, unload on Big Deno? Give him a spray? It's okay if you want to. I can take it. I've got broad shoulders. It's definitely thicker than a glaze. So my general rule is I don't use glazes at all until I start refining. When you glaze, what you do is you lose opacity, you lose intensity of colour. And what we're trying to do at the moment is create intensity of colour. We don't want to lose the strength of the colour. We're trying to add the intensity right now. Glazing, what we'll do, will help us to bring back vibrancy when we've lost saturation from highlighting too much, and when we want to smooth and refine transitions. It's a good suggestion from Joanne. If you don't want to buck up and spend money on a new fucking paint range, the satin medium is quite good. So just so you can understand, the problem I have with the scale 75 range has to do with the way that you perceive those colours when you're looking at them. Like, one of the reasons why most fantasy ranges, like your fantasy range sorts of colours, have a slightly more satin finish is because it reflects more light, which makes the colours look more intense. It's just reflecting more light. And so when you are doing really matte colours, they're reflecting less light, which makes the colours look less saturated. So alright, okay, now ladies, yeah. What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold, alright. But I'll give you the hot tip. It's never a paint range that is the problem for you being a shit painter. If you're struggling with your painting, you should practice more. No purple for the moment. I want to try and keep a little bit of separation between Lady of the Lake and this guy by having one be more purple and one be more blue, because the colour palette of the thing is supposed to be blue. Alright, let's do some airbrushing. Yeah. Alright. The first colour that I'm going to use in this juncture is a high value mid-tone. So when I say high value mid-tone, it does stand higher, yes. We don't want to go to white, we want it to be more of a yellow. So I'm going to take a little bit of this gobby brown, golden brown I should say. Gobby brown's a scale colour. And we're going to have this be quite thin. So we're going to put the brown in. And then we're going to add some of the white, ice yellow. Yeah. Some of this pastel blue. So this is my colour. Almost like a duck egg green, isn't it? Alright, so where we're focusing the airbrushing now, go Voodoo, is trying to aim it for the area between where these two highlights, or where these highlights appear. So that's the sort of area, right? So again, this is the type of thing that takes just a smidge of practice to be able to angle your airbrush in just the right way. Now it's okay if you catch the high value areas, because what it's going to do with them is it's actually going to bring them down. Right, cool. So I tried to not hit the deep shadows at this juncture. Correct, it is a laser spray. So what we're going to do now is we're going to re-add some shadows by doing a darker colour. Now, this is hard to quantify for me because I usually just do lots of little tweaks until I get the colour that I'm looking for. Here we're not quite at the gold colour that I want yet. We're gonna get there, but first I want to re-add some depth of shadow. So I'm actually gonna go back to basically what was my starting colour, which was Signal Blue and Arbuckle's Brown. But I'm gonna do it in two different layers. So I'm gonna do Arbuckle's Brown first. I empty the pot. And to give you a bit of a, that's how much opacity there is. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and focus this on the upper shadows. So I say upper shadows because the under shadows are the ones that are going to be blue. So this is sort of this area here, right? This area up here. I'm just going to turn that pressure down a smidge. So this is just adding some shadows back in and adding a little bit more nuance to the colours. One of the issues with this sort of approach, and people have tried it, have commented that you lose a lot of contrast when you do this. So you absolutely do, and the way we're going to get around that is by going back in and adding layers afterwards with the brush. The reason why this is still my preferred method, even though you have to do more brush work afterwards, is because you get to do everything much quicker, right? Like everything about what I've done here has been much, much quicker. So I'm not going to empty the pot here, I'm actually just going to use a tiny little bit of that and some blue. Like you get to add shadows and highlights super sketchy, and then all of a sudden you can re-add smoothness afterwards. You may be saying, Deno, this looks like fucking dog shit and it doesn't look great. It's okay, because we're going to add some saturation over the top now using a contrast paint. Liesel Dressing Gown Gaming, hello to you. I enjoy your name quite a lot. This is an Iwata HBB Plus, which has a 0.2 nozzle, I think. So normally when I do gold, I use this yellow colour, Nasdreg Yellow. In this instance, I'm going to use Nasdreg Yellow, but I'm going to mix a tiny little bit of blue as well. Which is going to create a green, as previously discussed, which we're aware of. And in fact, that should be working as intended, because when you have nighttime light, gold goes green. And so this is quite thin again, but we can be a little bit less precise with this, because all we're doing is adding the saturation back to the colour. And when I say saturation, I'm talking about the intensity of the colour. It's probably a word I overuse. Don't mask, just raw dog it. Only way to get better. So we may actually go a little more yellow, I think. I did. That's how you go, mate. It's the only way to get better. Raw dog that shit. So, just putting some yellow on there. Because we still want it to look like gold. Now, at this juncture, normally I wouldn't do anything else, but what I'm going to do now is do an actual blue from underneath for the water stuff. Whee! Alright. Cool. Now it won't look finished until we do the next stage. And invariably the next stage is the thing that makes you sit up and go, oh yeah, that does look like metal. Yeah, sweet. I don't know if it's like a process that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense to me. I'm sure there's other people that could do exactly what I've just done in half the time. So, but this is my method and it works for me. So, what I'm going to do now, losing a bristle there. Is add the shadows. And this really helps to sell it as a metal because metals have a lot of shadows. So just by blacklining in this armor, we should create much more of a sense of metal just from doing this process. Is it? Is it really? Cool to know. Broadside, at the moment I'm using a Raphael 8404. It is black and a deep blue, mate. Yes, it is. Should have specified that I do have blue mixed into my black. And it's actually the blue, black and brown. Same colours I use for the base, but with some black. Yeah, it's probably halfway between a glaze and a base coat sort of consistency. If you go too thin, again, you don't have that power of colour. But if you go too thick, then you lose that nice, soft, airbrushed, smooth feeling that you've worked so hard to create in the first place. On your Topolus, you're the man. So the colour I'm going to use for the highlights is going to be a pale blue gold white colour. And it's just going to be, again, mixing ice yellow, pastel blue to create this really light value thing. Thanks, Tip Top Baker. Yeah, Joanne, I probably would have to agree with that assessment at this juncture. Up until the start of the year, I never moved away from a Winsor & Newton in my life. Felt like they were absolutely the bee's knees, but yeah, I just had about a run of about 6 or 7 brushes that were just dog shit. And so I started moving into some different ones. Hello, Net Diver. Just to try and find a brush that was going to be more consistent and reliable. And that seems to be the case with these. They don't last as long. Because I don't think they're quite as durable, but yeah, definitely. Thanks, Rapid Transit. Both of you friends are going into the draw to win the Wood Elves going off on the 31st. So it's this sort of time that you start doing your glazes. I have painted for like 25 years or whatever it is, and I use Winsor & Newton for 24 and a half of those years. And then I got so sick of them being dog shit that I was like, I'm going to try something else. These Raphaels are good. I bought like 10 of them, so they must have been alright from my books. So probably not looking night-timey enough. Maybe it is. Another pro tip from a dead set amateur: always look at your models outside of the painting desk lamp. Get a much truer sense of what they look like. So this stage now is the fun bit. That is absolutely because of the environment, mate. Absolutely. And based on how this colour is looking, I may actually go and do a blue airbrush glaze over the top of everything, very pale one, but just to really bring it back into a nighttime. Oh, Peachy's here. Hey kiddo. Hey. My cat's here. Hello. Hey. Hey. Better give us some food. 1 second, friend. Hey. Hey. Come here. Hey. Meow meow. Meow meow. Hello, friends. Come on. There you go, mate. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Ow. Meow, 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 meow. Alright, sorry friends. My cat doesn't come to visit very often. She likes roaming the town, carving up with the dude cats probably. Well, believe it or not, she's been back pretty consistently ever since I've started having food, eh? What a surprise. So I think this is looking okay for antique gold. For the moment. G'day, in motion. What's it taken us? 1 hour. And I feel like that's the strength of this technique, is just that it's quick to adapt. Ah, thanks Asmodai, that's awesome, my friend. Don't forget, everyone who subscribes this month might win some wood elves. Cats are the best. Well, actually dogs are the best. Animals are the best. There you go. Millions of peaches, peaches for me. Millions of peaches. Peaches come from a can. She was put there by a man who liked eating cats. In a factory downtown. If I had my little way, I'd eat peaches every day. Nature's candy in my hand, or can, or cat. And now we just get to tweak and muck around with colours and have a blast. And you can add some interesting highlights and shadows, and sort of like a cheating method for building up all of your colours. That's how I like to think of it. Everything is cheating. Everything is cheating. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is cheating when you're painting with Big Dano. Cool. Well, Joanne, hopefully, under my expert tutelage, you can cut this down to about 2 weeks of work. Yes, that is actually the case, Frog Jim. That is what happens. I don't like airbrushing base coats very often. I much prefer to use the brush. I find that not only does it give you a stronger colour, but yeah, it provides something for the paint to grip onto. What you're feeling is the airbrush is too smooth. Like, it's literally too smooth. It's not giving the paint above it anything to grab onto. That's why you see like varnishes, undercoats, sorry, being quite speckled sometimes, depending on who undercoats, because that's actually creating some teeth for the model, for the paint to adhere to, and that's not a bad thing. Haven't tried that yet, no. Sort of on the list of things to do. One of the guys I know from Australia, his name's Josh. Renault, 1987. When you say the Guardian from Black Sun, do you mean the robot? I do have it. It's a part of it. It's a part of a diorama. Do you want to see the whole diorama, or you just want to see a photo of it? All right. It's too big. It's too big for me to put on to fit on the screen. Actually, I'd have to tilt my camera back, but I do need to do that anyway. Tell you what, if you give me like maybe 20 minutes, I'll grab it out. Hey VPC. Alright, I'll go do it now. I'll go do it now because I've got some other stuff to show. See you, Peach. Thanks for coming to visit. Alright, there we go. That looks pretty good. So what we need to do now, there's a few things we need to do. We need to do the little steel bits, which I'm going to do in steel, sword, etc. So I'm going to base coat some steel stuff and then we'll do that. And then I'll show you my diorama. Here's my tie. Alright, I'll go get my diorama. I need a beer anyway. Or a cinnamon whiskey. Woo. Okay, I've got it, it was at the back. So this is my Wizard of Oz diorama. It's supposed to be based on the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if that's in focus or not. There we go. So, yeah, there's lots of little things from the Wizard of Oz, little call-outs. We've got obviously Dorothy with her ruby boots. Hey, McHot Dog, Toto with his little gas mask, which is cool. This is the Scarecrow, and you can see here he's got little bits of straw coming out of his head. And this face paint and this chest thing are actually from the movie The Crow. So that's pretty cool. Then that's the Tin Man. So he's got a little heart on there. Well, here's his oil can. And then if you have a closer look, some of the details in the diorama, this poster says Courage Under Fire. It's underneath the Cowardly Lion. This little poster here has got a brain. And this little poster here has got a heart. I think I had some other little callbacks as well. Emerald City. And then this is a banner from a TV show. Called Tin Man. So yeah, it was quite fun to paint. I think I did this in, what was it, December? I think. A couple of weeks in December. So yeah, there's a few elements of it that oh yeah, that's right, Yellow Brick Road. Yeah, I think probably this guy ended up being my favourite model. my favourite thing that I painted. This guy's really cool. The problem is that this is his best viewing angle, right? He looks mad, but when you look at the diorama, you don't get to see the best angles of him. Unfortunately, you see the side-on angle. So, this structural beam. No, that's a piece of plasticard. You can buy plasticard stuff from like model train shops. It comes in like construction beam sizes and different shapes and shit. So that's what that is. These little drums are a thing I bought from a place called B&A Model World. This is the thing that this chick normally sits on. This is just some corrugated plasticard stuff to look like corrugated iron. And then the rest of these little knickknacks are just things from my bits box. So, yeah, fun diorama. Let's put that over here for the moment. McHotDog, thank you for subscribing with Prime. So this is the when you say research phase, what do you mean by that? Just happened, mate. Yeah, I just like I saw the robot guardian. I was like, yeah, he looks like Tin Man. And then I thought, I wonder if I could do a Wizard of Oz diorama. And then I found the models and I bought them and I painted it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so this is the second scene of the Camelot diorama. And you can see the colour palette here. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do a lot of planning on that diorama. I just grabbed stuff and just glued it on. Yeah, I mean, that one, I reckon I probably would have spent about an hour or two. So the only thing I do for most of those dioramas is I sit there with the models when I've got all 4 of the models and I put them together in different combinations to try and block out a way I want them to be standing. And then I figure out how to do that by adding bits and pieces. So this is Lady of the Lake. She goes here. Sort of. And then Uther's up here, standing on the rocks. It's actually at that angle, so I should probably think about that a bit more. That's okay. Yeah, so we've still got some work to do on this base. Around adding foliage and painting these little plants and continuing to work on the rocks, and then we're going to have some water effects in there. Yeah. And I'm going to try and incorporate this at the moment. This is the base Lady of the Lake comes on. I'm going to try and paint the rocks and then gloss up the water so that it looks like water effects flowing up behind her. That's my plan with that. We'll see if I can pull that off. I've got a second idea if that doesn't work. So yeah, so that's progress on this scene, and then I'm sure most of you have already seen it, but I'll show you the first scene in the diorama and how it's looking. For friends that haven't seen it, let me go to my Twitter and find it. So that's the first scene that I finished on stream a little while back. Sort of. And yes, the whole thing should eventually look like this. Hey Jan. Hey Jan. You can see that scene's painted now. and this Lady of the Lake scene's going to be painted soon. And I finished doing most of the base work on that element now there, so that's going to be the next one I paint, actually, that one up the top. No, mate, no. I am just someone who likes painting little toy soldiers and having fun with my hobby. All of those guys that you are referring to, guys, girls and others, they are the absolute stars. I just want to be like them. And hopefully one day I will be able to be as good as them. One day. That's the plan. But it is not this day. This day, we fight. Oh, look, mate, I've practiced a lot, and I think that has helped me to improve. But there's always more you can aspire to, and I would like to aspire to that. Yeah, I mean, there's painters out there who absolutely put me to shame, just without even batting an eyelid. I could name about 20 of them, and those are the people that I want to try and be like at some point in my life. Not this point in time. At the moment, I just want to paint my models and have fun, but I may never reach those people. And that'd be okay. Alright, sword. That one. We go that way to the lake. Someone, Jero Miniatures, a dude I follow on Instagram. He posted that he was watching the movie Willow. I was like, fuck yeah, Willow's so good. I even talked about it on stream like last week, I think. You know, I saw someone else watching. I was like, yeah. It's unreal. Great movie. Now I'm going to have a cinnamon whiskey, I think. Everywhere. I picture this beyond compare. We are the gummy bears. Is VPC, are you still around, mate? You ever finish up that fucking model? Awesome. I'm excited, mate. I'm excited to see it. Yes, they are making a TV series, and if Mad Mardigan, played by Val Kilmer, does not make an appearance, I shall be very unhappy. This colour that I'm using right now, I have mixed in several colours. I've used Signal Blue, Layer Model Air, and I've used AK 3rd Generation Ocean Blue, and I've used AK 3rd Generation Black. So sword, let's make these little doodads silver as well, I think. That should look cool. I think I've changed my mind. Well, Voodoo, I'm going to shout it back at you. My opinions on the range. Yeah, look, I bought them on a whim. Bought all of the packs on a whim from B&A Model World. Oh shit, there's some gold there. I better do that. Fuck, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, they're good. I mean, so I have compared them to Chimera paints mixed with Vallejo. Like, they sit somewhere in the middle in terms of the way that the paints react. They're very heavily pigmented, like super pigmented, but in a way that is slightly more like a Vallejo range. I like them. I didn't make a wholesale change to them. I've just added some of the colours into my rotation, and I like them a lot. No, I haven't. My mate Gavin probably fucking went out and bought them all. When he heard one person say they were good. Yeah, they're good. I'll fucking buy them all, thanks. Gav. Alright. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, I think I've been finding my non-metallic metal style a little bit better. Not something I'm really an expert at, but yeah, I'm enjoying experimenting, learning. So I'll just make an observation here. I think people are too afraid of working in wet paint. Like, there's still paint that is wet here, right? Absolutely. I'm speaking obviously about acrylics here. There is still significant amounts of paint right here, still drying wet. And I'm just going to go straight in there. And I feel like that observation is just something you can change pretty easily. Like, just as a mindset, paint doesn't need to be perfectly dry for me to start the next layer. Haha, Axa! Axa! What a legend. How are you, champion? What can I sing for you, Raisin E? Is this a fucking scabbard? It's a fucking scabbard, isn't it? Fuck, that's annoying. Cause I'm TNT, I'm dynamite. TNT, you'll win the fight. TNT, I'm a power load. TNT, watch me explode. I'm annoyed by this being a scabbard. I was looking forward to painting this sword. We'll just make this bit metal. Gracias. It's Party Monday, mate. If you can't get up for Party Monday, you're doing something wrong. You were a fast machine, she kept the motor clean. She was the best damn woman that I ever seen. Maybe I will do these in metal. Let's see how this looks. Told me to come, but I was already there. Cause the walls were shaking, the earth was quaking, my mind was aching. We were just thinking of you. Shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long. If I want to see a crowd going off, I'll just watch one of my videos. Crowds love Big Demo. Voodoo, what can I sing for you? We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kiss, I smell under your spell of love. No one can deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie, running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. See you, Joanne. Thanks for stopping by, you champion. I've often thought the same thing myself, Azza. Absolutely. Ah, that's what I reckon is a champion. Love that guy. Yeah, I was at Freezy's the other night, and they said they made that this spaghetti bolognese that he made. I fucking loved it. Green Art of Colours, thank you for following, mate. If I remember rightly, Green Art of Colours is a dude that I think I know. Emmanuel Terzoni. Let's see how my memory is. Hello, mate. If I'm right, that's awesome. If I'm not, unfortunate. Haha! Big Dano strikes again. G'day, mate. Oh, g'day, Chris P. What's happening, mate? I don't feel pressure, mate. I reckon the last time I felt pressure would have been when I played touch football in my young days. Thank you, mate. I have a saying that I like. Pressure is a privilege. I wouldn't be following me, Chris P. Do you know why? Hey, Miss Jana. Because I tell you what, I'm just going to contrast paint the shit out of that. So, if you're comfortable with contrast paints as your go-to method, then my friend, knock yourself out. What about the Rabbitohs on the weekend, Axar? How fucking ordinary were they? What about the Broncos, mate? They're fucking paying $9. They're paying $9 to beat the Roosters. You could have made absolute fucking bank if you knew nothing about rugby league and were willing to throw away your money on an absolutely disgraceful bet. How much did you win? $51 for 13 plus. Fuck me. If I need to fix a mistake, mate, I'll just go in and fix it. That sounds like a cop-out answer, but it's 100% what I do. I just go in and fix it, and that's it. You can always go over contrast paints again. What's hard to fix is airbrushing. If you fucking do some airbrushing and then you're like, oh yeah, I might tweak a bit there, like this bit here, That's going to be fucking challenge. That may go in the too hard basket. Or I'll just do it later. No, not so much. Because the process that I follow is the same. Like, assuming you haven't got airbrush introduced, you can just replicate the same colours and then contrast paint over the top again. It's not that difficult. G'day Markham 3D, what's happening? Yeah, I don't mean to be dismissive of that, but the question, because it's a fair question. But you can just mix the contrast paints in with your paints on the palette, and that'll create the same sort of colour that you're looking for. Or you can just follow the same process. A better way to approach it would be to just not make mistakes. That's my preferred method. Alright, we're going to see if we can raw dog some airbrushing here. It's going to be great. You take the brush, mate. As Julie Andrews would say, mate. I have confidence in sunshine. I have confidence in rain. I have confidence in confidence alone. When you see I have confidence in me. You should have confidence in yourself, mate. That was the point of my little song. I love Party Mondays. Alright, let's raw dog it. Boom, boom, boom. So what I'm going to try and do is just do some light using my airbrush. You may ask, why using the airbrush, you absolute fucking peanut? I can answer that. You are right, I am a peanut. But the airbrush just creates a very metallic looking glint because of how smooth and soft it is. So in theory, and I'm using pastel blue and off-white here. Let's do a little tester. So if you have a look here, we can go very, very close to this, but if you get too close, you get spiders. So the reason I'm getting spiders is the pressure's too high. So if I turn the pressure down, we can get less spiders. So we're going to try and do that. Let's do it. Sweet. Now we'll do some quick contrast painting with an airbrush first, and then we'll use the actual contrast paint as it was intended by the great people at Games Workshop. Not even a little bit. Just do that with your stuff, Chris. You'll be fine, mate. Just some airbrushing, that close. Boom, shakalaka. Do it. Come on! Do it now! So now the contrast paint goes on. We water it down. It's not a tuna, it's not! Get your toy, take it to the carpet. Ooh, bit much there, friends. Bit much. Bit much. I might just go on another section, leave that to mull over what it's been thinking about. So the question we have to ask ourselves now is, what colour should we paint his glorious fabric cloak? If you come up with a good suggestion that I hadn't considered, you'll get your name on the Camelot Roll of Honour. Alright, so here's why I don't think blue is the go. Theoretically, I thought of blue. What I was leaning towards at the moment was a cold red, which is hard to do. VPC is on fire. VPC is on fire. The reason for that is this guy, Uther Pendragon, his sigil is a red dragon. Purple could work, but I was leaning away from purple because of the Lady of the Lake also being purple. Come on, mate. Surely you should know that I'm not going to be able to do the Rolling Stones. Let me think about Lisa Loeb's date. Wasn't she that chick who was on Neighbours? I vaguely remember the name. Well, I don't know either of those songs, mate. I've got no hope there. Have another crack. Stop right now. Thank you very much. I need somebody with a human touch. Hey, you, always on the run. Gotta slow it down, baby, gotta have some fun. You walk right in, I sit right down. That's cool, but you don't even know me. You give an inch, I take a mile. Something else, something even show me. That's okay, you're going too fast. Slow it down if you're sexy, you notice where you're going. Stop right now. I can dig that. I think that could work. So if we just like do, I don't know, a little dragon. Like that. In red, make it a cold red. Alright, Wamposaurus goes on the Camelot Roll of Honour. I'm actually going to make this publicly linked. Google Drive. So you can all see the Roll of Honour. Black Cloak, Red Dragon, Wampa. Here you go, if anyone wants to see the Roll of Honour at the moment. It's also got my list of how much money I've spent down the bottom on stuff. It's just for record keeping purposes, for everyone that's helped me with great suggestions. Particularly think that for a project like this, you really need to get guidance and feedback from a variety of sources. So, no, thank you, mate. It's a good suggestion. Actually, I do need to add a couple of people on there right now. Good for you, buddy. While I'm here, do him up the top because he came first. Resin, printing, Marky Roads, feedback, Colwell. Edit away if you want, friends. Just put your name in there if you want. I'll remember. I'll remember who's in the list, and I'll fucking smash people if they try and edit my shit. Yeah, I mean I can. What supplies do you want to know, mate? Go Browntown, Browntown. It's only going to be as useful if you're in Australia, mate. Like. Most of the stuff I buy is like here. Thanks, mate. Appreciated. We did actually nearly raid you the other day, but I saw someone I hadn't raided before, so I went that way instead. But you never know your luck in the big city, mate. We might get in there for a raid sometime soon. Just like spreading the raid love around. Anyway, so you can see now my approach with these little plates. And we'll just add some little pop highlights. Which should look pretty good. Let's see if we can do a couple of them now. So I think it's important when you do scales like this that you remember the scales, although they're all individual volumes, you want them to look like one surface. So you don't want to highlight all of them to the same level of highlight, because what that does is that creates uniformity and it doesn't look quite right. Whereas if you just highlight areas of it, like the lights catching just a couple of those areas and glinting, then you'll create the illusion of a metallic surface, like so. And then I'll add some reflective colours again. But pretty much everything about my technique, friends, is speed. How can I do something as quick as I possibly can? And sometimes that results in a result that isn't as good as if you did it another way. Sometimes you can get very similar results. Yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Usually it works. Yeah. He's a fucking jet. Alright, I think we do this thing in dark, cold red, and that will tie into the rest of it. So, cold red, very tricky. Don't know if I've ever got it right. Let's see if we can get it right tonight. We're going to start with a blue. We're going to use this Chimera blue, and it's going to be called Phthalo Blue Red Shade. Why is it pronounced Phthalo, you may be asking? And I'll tell you. Because I like saying words incorrectly. This colour I've selected because it's a cool colour and I just bought it and I want to use it. And this colour is a very nice colour. Indeed it is, Wampa. Indeed it is. You've jumped the gun. Look at this. Ready to go. Do I love correcting people, do I? Alright, so let's start by going a little bit of this red Phthalo blue shade. A little bit of this wine red. So I want this to be quite desaturated. So if you look at the rest of the palette, it's very much a desaturated palette. So we don't want this red to overpower the colour. Overpower the model. I do love correcting people, Axa, including myself. I miss you. When are we going to travel overseas for a Toy Soldier tournament again? That's true. That is absolutely a fact. Alright. So this wine red that I've chosen from AK 3rd Gen is a cold red. So we're going to use this as probably the main colour. And just another quick colour theory lesson. G'day Kai's God. I have, yes, I have. Yes, basic colour theory tells us that when you mix blue, which is the overall light source, with red, you get a purple. So this will look a little purple overall. And again, that is intended. That will create the right palette. I'm not much of a grisaille painter in general, Kai's God. It's a cool technique, and I did a few test models with it. I just found I could get stronger colours painting the way I normally paint. And I'm all about strong colours. So this colour is actually our mid-tone. Now, normally when you do a red, your mid-tone is actually your highlight colour. Which sounds really dumb, but red's a hard colour to highlight without it looking pink or orange. But we are going to highlight this a little bit with some blue, so it is going to look maybe a little bit pink. But we're giving it a try, aren't we? sunny Monday. Womper, I feel like I have to question your real attention when you're viewing Big Deno paints. I reckon I've done that every episode for the last 4 months. In terms of using them purely as a colour to create a base coat, is that your question? I feel like you're just here to get points to make me sing, mate. No, to answer your question, I would not think contrast paints through an airbrush would be much chop for base coating. However, they're fantastic at filtering layers. For example, on this particular model that I am painting tonight, I did contrast paint of Nasreg yellow and a contrast paint of Talisar blue over this armour to create a filter over the colour. I'm just teasing you, mate. I do things pretty quickly, so I'm sure it's hard to follow sometimes. It's hard for me to follow sometimes, fuck. I do use contrast paints through the airbrush a lot, but it's for filtering colours. Do not use them for base coats and such. Possibly with the notable exception of Cygor Brown, because I think that colour is strong enough to be a base coat. I've never done it, but it's a good colour. So we're almost going to go into a lilac colour now for the highlights. Again, blue plus red equals purple. So we should be seeing some purple. Thanks, Benny. Gorgrunter fur is a great colour too. Reddish, nice reddish brown. Cygor brown's a dark brown, really strong pigments, covers well. I haven't actually used Skeleton Horde. I bought Agaros Dunes the other day to try out. Haven't tried it yet. haven't had an opportunity. Skeleton Hospital. Oh, look, I am feeling a little bit better, mate, yes. Had a rough week last week. Under the weather. Yeah, much refreshed this week. So I'm going to do a very thin glaze. Normally I do this with an airbrush, but I don't want too much overspray at this juncture. So just going to brush it on a couple of thin layers, and I've mixed contrast paint, Flesh Tearers red, with some blue, and diluted it down quite thin. And I'm going to do a couple of passes of this colour. Party Monday, everybody's having the best time. See you, Plank. Thanks for hanging around, my friend. Hope you have a great day tomorrow. So when I'm doing fabrics, I often like to use a shit brush like this, with some really shit bristles, because it can create some natural texturing that looks like fabric just by using those shit bristles. The obvious point of challenge here is making sure that you're always keeping the same direction of brush stroke. That is what is going to sell right. I'm going well tonight with my words. Sell the illusion of fabric as if everything follows the flow of the model. If you do not get that right, it will not look like fabric at all. There's also a balance between how much paint you have in the bristles and how moist that paint is versus how you use the brush. If you don't get the amount of paint right, you will get dry brush looking effects, which is not what you want. You want it to be a moist paint. As always, we can refine further with airbrushing, which we will. Yeah, it's fun when you nail it. Less fun when you don't get it right. Business misery, let's take it from the top. She's got a body like an hourglass and stick it like a clock. Matter of time before we all run out. Caught him by the mouth. I waited a long month, finally set him free. Told him I could lie, he was the only one for me. 2 weeks and we caught fire. With the biggest smile. Well, I was meant to break, but I got it where I want it now. Oh, it was never my intention to brag. Steal it all away from you now. I've been rewatching Parks and Rec. It's just a great show. Have on in the background. Makes me sad and happy in good ways. It's a great show. And then my girlfriend and I have been watching MasterChef because I'm addicted to that show. Oh, Lost. Classic. I reckon I lost interest in that show after about season 2. Couldn't keep it up. I was only young at the time. Like 48 or something. No, I don't know how old I was when Lost came out. When did it come out? Feels like fucking forever. I feel like I was still living at home when that show was running. My mum and dad. Oh, Andromeda. Great. I feel like you and I are the same age, aren't we, Benny? Must be close. Maybe you're a smidge younger than me. I don't remember. "26. Beautiful. You are a lot younger than me. 12 years, in fact. I was just trying to remember if I was 38. What? No. I'm not disputing you being aware of your own age. I'm disputing the age of Lost. If you were in high school, I must have been living at home when I was 27. Which doesn't sound right. But it's possible, I suppose. Dum, 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 dum. Oh, Lex, I do remember that series. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, 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 dum. don't know why Futurama just popped into my head then. Yeah, I thought I watched it when I was in school, or I was still living at home. Just Google it, mate. Dong, 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 dong. I'm gonna reach a town. The Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. And if I catch you coming back my way, I'm gonna serve it to you. I'm bringing sexy back, yep. Them other boys don't know how to act, yep. You think you're special, what's behind your back, yep. Go ahead, be gone with it, get your sexy on. Go ahead, be gone with it, get your sexy on. Go ahead, be gone with it. Dirty babe, see shackles, baby, I'm a slave. Misbehave. It's just that no one else will feel this way. I feel like this area that I'm painting in black right now needs to be gold. Gold trim. CHK. Hello, mate. Whee! Hello, Raiders. Hello, friends. Let me do a glorious shout out from my friend Tony from CHK Studio. Hello, mate. How was your stream, champion? Just so everyone knows, I'm working on a large diorama at the moment. This is what the diorama looks like. It's very big, it's very silly, and it's got lots of elements. Yeah, I've made some progress. I'll show you some pictures. So that's for everyone who hasn't seen the project in all of its glory. Well, all of its part-built glory. So this is the first scene finished. Well, almost finished. I've got to do some tweaks to elements of it. And this is the rocks for the next scene. Sorry, I missed that. And thank you, mate. I admire you for your ability to paint incredibly awesomely. So here's Lady of the Lake and Uther, both from the same scene. So that's the one I'm working on at the moment. It's a bit silly, really. Yo, I tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I really, really, really wanna. If you want my future, forget my past. You wanna get with me, better make it fast. As in, because I paint things quickly, mate. No. No. I do not. Just practice, mate. You know that. Same way you got good at painting. Just lots of practice. So I practiced ways I could be faster. And you practice ways you could be a fucking legend. I do a raffle. This month I'm raffling some wood elves from Underworlds. Just quietly don't think I'm going to raffle this diorama. It's a chance, I suppose. But I don't think I will. Don't. Anyway, friends, you're all amazing. CHK Studio is absolutely one of my heroes. And if you're not following him on Instagram, I highly recommend it. He does some, thank you, Kelseya. He's doing some ridiculously cool Lumineth High Elf dudes at the moment. And the standard across the entire army is utterly insane. And I love it. Oh, Raisinese, I was worried, mate. I thought you'd died. That's not true. I know you said you were lurking to do some housework. Oh, thank you, Luna the Moona Painter. Thanks. Steal it all away from me now. I'm so good. I'm probably not as interesting as CHK, everyone, sorry. All I really do is sing and paint. Well, I'm sure people want lots of explanations for things and want to see someone doing something good, all that sort of stuff. True. Singing is why people come to this stream. And I think I've said this before, but you can all thank Tony from CHK Studio because he's the one who got me the AK onto the AK 3rd Gen paints. I dropped into his stream one day and he was using them and I was like, oh, what are they like? He's like, yeah, I really like them. So the next day I went and bought $350 worth of them. Thanks, man. Absolutely, Wismore. Absolutely. I have so far given away models to someone in the UK, in Spain, and in America. That's my last 3 giveaways. Free of charge. No cost to you at all, sir. Or miss. Or other. Thank you, Diamondal. Or Demendal. Hey, Raids Paint. G'day, mate. Party Monday. You got it. You got it. Oh, you are a little bit late, mate. We will be finishing up at some point soon, but that's okay. Hope you got your tie on. I am indeed. All right, we've got to figure out. We've got to figure out the dragon, the logo of the dragon for Uther. So, anyone looking to get added to the Roll of Honour, find me a good fucking dragon that I can paint on there. Yeah, they're unreal models. Unreal. It's actually the reason I wanted to do the diorama, because I was looking around at the models and I just thought, I want to paint all of them. Like, there's not a single one that I don't want to paint. So, thought, well, how can I paint them all? That'd just take too long. They're all on separate bases. Got to come up with things for everything. So yeah, I decided to do something stupider and do them all in the one. Oh, Wampa's looking to get on there. Triple tapping. What do we got? I think I want it to flow the other way. I could flip it, I suppose. Thank you, Aborja GV. Don't mind that one. We can do that sort of there. Yeah. Yeah, in my head I sort of wanted to have wings. Flappy wings. Absolutely, mate. Post up a picture, I'd love to see it. Fuck, my blog post, I forgot I had a blog. Haven't written on it in about 3 years, 5 years. long time. Danzeron. Oh, that's his actual thing. Very cool. Wampa. Ooh. Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's cool. That's a cool picture. Maybe we should go for a stylized Uther Pendragon. This is sort of what I was thinking in my head. Yeah, I know, that's what I was saying, mate. That's sort of the shape I was imagining in my head when I drew that little squiggle. Oh, this is awesome. Shit, son. So this is from Ray Eats Paint. Friends, we're looking at his version of this. So it's about 80% finished. Cool. So I'll tell you a couple of things that jump out. I'm normally pretty aggressive on my feedback. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I'm not going to go too aggressive here because it's really good. But so this green gem, that is absolutely on point for contrast, right? Like it stands out really awesome because you've got a magenta, which is effectively a red, and a green, but you've got two versions of that doesn't make it look like Christmas. So that's awesome. Where I'm seeing some opportunities to improve, I'm going to guess that chainmail's not done yet, so that's fine. The gold feels lost versus the armor, and so the gold in theory should probably be one of the brightest elements because it's a reflective metal. So you really probably want to increase the value of the gold, at least so it's on par with the magenta. Or alternatively, just bring the magenta down a little bit into some cool purples, because you've got a very warm palette, so adding some cool purples like you've done down the bottom here might help to just even reinforce that warm cold contrast. The hair needs to have more of those really bright reflective lights. Hair is also very reflective, so just a little sheen of lights along the hair will look really nice. And to get very critical, the eyes are uneven, and you can see them at this level very, very quickly. Obviously you're not going to be looking at this level very quickly very often, but the black line around the outside of the iris is too big. It creates a good separation, but when you look at it here, something doesn't look right. Looks like she's stoned or something. So you need to probably take a grey and circle around those eyes just to bring that down. Alternatively, go from the inside out and make the pupils or the irises a little bit bigger. In terms of the face, the lips could do with a little light sheen, because lips are also moist, so they tend to reflect a lot of light. And I think overall that's probably all the feedback I would give. I think it's really nice palette, really nice colours, and really nice techniques. The skin tone that's textbook from my perspective. Really nice lights in all the right spots, like those little bits on the lips there, that's fucking perfect. Chin's nice, you got that little rosebud lips, nose, beautiful, perfect face highlighting. So, yep, finish it up, mate. Looking forward to seeing that when it's finished. Uther Pendragon. I am glad that it has helped, my friend. Well, friends, we are going to finish up the stream very soon. It is a big day for me tomorrow. Got to take Doggo to doggy daycare. He loves it. Little man. Hi, Kohan. Thank you, mate, for the follow. Wonder what colour we should do this stripy bit around the outside there. Don't know. Oh, if that's your first bus, mate, that's very impressive. If you've got good, like, fundamentals, though, busts are actually a really great opportunity to practice techniques because everything about them is bigger and more accessible. So, yeah, it's sort of a bit counterintuitive in some ways that people get nervous about painting busts or what have you, and actually they're probably easier and more fun than the smaller models can be. we're going to do a final thing for the stream, which is an important element. Every paint job, checking what the model looks like on the base. Alright, I do think it's Aquaman. There's my tie again. Ugh, don't drop it, Deno. Intention to pray, steal it all away from you now. God, it feels so good. I'm glad to have caught you online as well, Wes. Because I have to say, mate, of all the people I've never met, you are definitely one of them. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Try the veal. It's really good. It is good, yeah. Yes. Beautiful Brisbane. Great place to be. I would like that VPC. That would be very cool indeed. I'm going to have to blue tack her in, I think. Fuck this picture off. Yeah, so we'll need to do the values a little bit more. Generally weekends work better for me, mate. Most of my leave is already planned for the next few months, but just let me know when you want to do it, mate. Yeah, thank you, Opakanoba. I feel the same. What I'm seeing from him, though, I think this little bit will need to be gold. What I'm definitely seeing from him, and I'll probably even want to tweak him like that, he is getting a little bit lost in the background. So we may want to, we may want to bring the values behind him down. She's also very intense at the moment, which may be not a bad thing. again, she's more finished, right? So obviously she's going to pop a little bit more. When we do his face and the other bits and pieces on him, it should even up a bit. But I definitely think that I need to take the values higher. And there's going to be more foliage and greenery and stuff in the background here, but overall, yeah. I'm less concerned now about the dragon because the dragon's barely going to be visible. It'll only be visible from like this angle, so I won't be putting a lot of time into that. But I definitely like the colour palette, and I think if you have a look at her gold, you can see the actual final highlight colours really poppy. So I'll probably just go similar to this. So just add those last few light highlights and it should look pretty good. It's supposed to look like gold at moonlight. Which I think is going okay. Beautiful. All right. Awesome, friends. Well, thank you for hanging out on tonight's stream. Love a party Monday. Next stream is on Wednesday night, and I should be firing on all cylinders for that one. And then next stream after that will be Saturday night, Sunday morning again. Please note, next Party Monday will be starting a later time as I have a work function on, so I'm probably not going to get on till like maybe this time. So that being the case, we may only do the giveaway next Monday night and not fuck all painting. So, but anyway, let's find some champion that we can raid. Oh, Wes, thank you for subscribing, man. I didn't see that. You might go into the draw to win a Wood Elf team, if that's what you want. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Raid. Who's on? Phoenix is on. I do owe him a raid. Let's have a bow peep, just in case there's anyone new that we haven't seen. Oh, Dialing Art's doing some cool stuff. That looks great. Boils. Odd cat, but it looks good. I'm actually going to have a look at that. It's really cool. Oh, Emmanuel Tazzoni. Let's go raid him. He came into the stream before.
When I do the other live stream on my channel, we are continue together this model step by step. Okay. Today I work on.
Yeah, Emmanuel Tazzoni, green, something of colours. Nice dude. I met him once at one of those shows I went to. Cool painter, like him. Let's raid that guy right now. I do owe Phoenix one, but. Let's go check him out, friends. Raid!
Okay, guys. This is the Twitch channel of Cultura Pop Ita. Okay, this is only in Italian language. Okay, language. For other things, I share with you my Discord channel. Okay, Big Dano. Oh. Big Dano, thank you very much for your your raid. Hey.